Of Next Level Conversations, where we are bringing you conversations to uplift you, inspire you, and encourage you on your journey forward. I am excited about this new year and this new season. We have an amazing lineup, so many things set for you to help you get out of the weeds of your life and grow and move forward. Our word this year is abound. And what that means is we are tackling those challenges, tackling those little foxes, those things that stop us in life, those things that are holding us back and holding us down. And we are going to tackle them, face them head on so that we can grow. And as part of that process, we are going to be bringing on counselors and people to talk about health and finances, all sorts of things. Like I said, we have a great lineup for you on this season. But tonight, we're going to start with some girl talk. I am joined tonight by Zoey Cassleberry, an influencer, stylist, and all-around baddie. And what we're using this space for, which we are going to be doing every quarter, is allowing the young women an opportunity to sit down with us and learn the wisdom of our experiences. Sometimes we go through life and our parents, I know mine when I was coming up, they taught us a lot of things, they gave us a lot of things, but one of the things that they did not do is they did not tell us about they weren't vulnerable, in my opinion. They were not vulnerable with the things that they went through, with their experiences and stuff that at the ages between 18 and 29, we really needed to hear so that we would not make foolish mistakes. Now, it's possible we were probably going to make those same stupid mistakes anyway, but learning the wisdom and hearing the stories and knowing that they knew what we were going through because of their experiences really would have helped us make better decisions. And so we've decided to create a space here on Next Level Conversations where young women can come and sit down with us and have open, candid conversations, asking us anything about any topic, and we're going to answer the questions. And so we're starting that tonight with Miss Zoey Cassleberry. Zoey, why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself or tell the audience a little bit of something about yourself?
All right, you guys. My name is Zoey. I am a content creator. I'm a YouTuber. I be on TikTok, Instagram. I just graduated cosmetology school. I am 20, so I feel like this will be like a good experience to have with Miss Shawnte on her show, aka my auntie on her show.
Her favorite auntie. Make sure you put that in there.
Favorite on the show.
Patrice.
All right. So we're going to be asking a couple questions.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. She's trying to act shy, but if you follow her on social media, you will know that shy is the very last thing that she is. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. And you can join us. You can drop any of your questions, any comments that you have, drop them in the chats, and we'll try to get to your questions as we go along. All right, Zoey.
All right.
What do you have for me?
All right. So my first question is, what was the most challenging point of 2024, and how did you handle it?
The most challenging point of 2024 was my house got broken into. And they didn't just break into my house, they broke into my car, they broke into my garage, and they stole my car, my very paid off car.
Right.
And it was, it felt like a very personal attack. It did. I wasn't distressed over the car. Of course, it was an inconvenience, but I had set my life up that it just really didn't matter. But the personal violation, and having been a person who was violated as a young girl, somebody coming in and violating my space and breaking into my sanctuary, it really kind of messed me up a little bit. How did I handle it? One, I stayed calm. That's about all I can say. I did. I stayed calm, and I remembered, and I would say this to myself almost every single day because I was walking to work, which I still am right now because the situation still has not been resolved.
Right.
But even as I was moving, I was just reminding myself that God is perfecting those things concerning me. And so whatever I had control over, I exercised that control, and everything that I didn't, I just kept saying it's gonna be okay. And God reminded me that He never wastes an opportunity. And so even through that violation, that invasion of privacy, things have been moving so powerful in my direction. So even though it's been a whirlwind up and down because they caught the guy, I mean it's just been a mess. And my car is she's hurt right now. She's going through some stuff, but God, again, even today, He reminded me, I'm perfecting those things concerning you, Shawnte. So I just keep saying everything is going to be okay. One way or another, I am going to be okay. And so that's how I've handled that challenge.
Okay, definitely. That's a good response.
Is that a good response?
It is a good response, definitely. I know that's not something that can be, taken lightly, being violated in any type of way.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad to know that you, kept that faith and, you was able to get through it. So,
what was one of your most challenging points of 2024? I mean, you asked me. We're having a conversation.
Honestly,
You gotta speak louder.
Honestly, I don't necessarily remember off the top of my head having like a challenging point in 2024. I would just say trying to get through school, like trying to graduate and, just getting ready for state board and taking my test. That was pretty much it.
So how did you get through it?
How did I get through? I just kept going. I kept on showing up to school because I knew I had to. My attendance had to be, up to par, and, my grades had to be there. Also, my teachers are counting on me to be to school and things like that. So I was just making it every day. And
on a wing and a prayer.
Somehow I made it.
I am very proud of you. I am very proud of you.
Thank you. All right, you guys, on to the next question. How do you feel as if you were successful, and if so, how do you measure your success?
How do I feel if I'm successful?
How do you feel as if you were successful, like,
Okay.
in 2024?
Okay.
And how you measure your success?
Well, of course, naturally, I do feel that I'm successful, and that I reached success in 2024.
Okay.
And I measure that by the goals that I set for myself and the way that I push myself this year. Did I exceed my own expectations? The things that I set out to do, whether I laid them out in the beginning of the year or God gave them to me throughout the year, did I move forward? My word from God in 2024 was to extend. And so every time I felt like I wanted to just sit back, I would hear Him say extend. And so I would stretch myself in different ways. I would stretch myself in ways that were not comfortable. And I consistently placed myself in uncomfortable situations.
Right.
And for me, that was success, because when I walked out of 2024, the way that I thought when I started the year was not the way that I thought when I ended the year. And I know for a fact that I became a better person. I kept my emotional balance, my spiritual balance. I went to another level in every area of my life, in my business, in my personal life. I came to realization of some real personal truth.
Right.
And instead of ignoring them, I faced them. So all of those different things is success. It's success to me. So I had a very successful 2024, and I'm looking forward to an even greater 2025.
Okay. Looking on up now. All right. And speaking of 2025, what do you have in store for this year for you and NexLevel?
For myself, one of the things that I'm really excited about which I'm getting ready to start, is a small women's Bible study.
Oh.
So I am really excited about that. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
It's something that God has put on my heart for quite a while, and I'm going to, if I don't do nothing else this year, I'm going to finish my devotional.
Right.
For sure. That is one of my biggest goals for 2025. For NexLevel, we actually have quite a few things in store. We are expanding our reach in the community. We are expanding. We've already expanded our team here on the show. We have we've seen, or we're having a lot of growth spurts, and we are working with a lot more partners. So there's a lot of things that are going on, which I'm excited about, and I'm excited to be able to give to our community and help our community more.
Right.
God has opened up a lot of doors that this year is allowing us a lot of opportunities, not for ourselves, but to the people that we serve, to the young women that we serve, and I'm really excited about that.
Okay.
So,
All right.
looking forward to being a baddie like you.
I know,
in
that's
2025.
You the daddy now. No. All right. Next question. What have you enjoyed about, like the most about being older, like becoming an adult, basically? Because I know it ain't all what it's cracked up to be. It's not. You guys, don't grow up now.
Don't grow up too fast.
Okay.
Which I will like to point out that I told her that as she was growing, do not grow up too fast, but she did not listen to me. Getting older, what is the thing that I have enjoyed the most? Getting to know myself, Zoe. That has been the most enlightened part of this aging process. The first half of my life was all about swimming, just trying to survive, trying to stay above water. And I mean, I spent a lot of time drowning and just going up, coming back down. And
Right.
this second half has been, I've just really gotten to know myself, forgive myself. I've gotten to, and don't judge me, I've gotten to know my sexuality. I've gotten to realize the things that I like. I've learned how to say no. Just really just being with myself. That's been, as I've gotten older, that has been one of the things that I enjoy the most. The second thing that I enjoy, I know you just asked for one, but they kind of go hand in hand to me. The second thing that I've enjoyed is getting to know my mom and my aunts as friends, and getting to have the relationship with my nieces as friends, as opposed to that authority figure. Our relationships have transitioned to friendship as they've gotten older and as I've gotten older. And my relationships with the women, with the women who raised me and guided me, our relationships have gone into friendships.
Right.
So that has been very beautiful. That's been it's been inspiring, and it's been enlightening, and it's helped me grow.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a beautiful thing.
Wouldn't you agree? Because I mean, we almost besties right now.
Yeah, because y'all, she used to be hard on me, very hard on me, you guys. So me and her, like, you know, we was telling each other business stuff.
We do.
And she don't sugarcoat nothing. And, you know, she always, like, give me advice, you know, always uplifting,
always
positive
listen.
advice. Yes, for the most part. For the most part. So I would say I agree on that as well. Okay, and then I did hear you talk about, like, you know, getting to know yourself and things. Like, do you think that you truly know who Shawnte is? Like, do you truly know yourself, like down to a T?
No. I am.
I mean, because like we're always evolving.
Yeah, the journey for me is about becoming, and every day I learn something new about me.
Yeah.
So in a general sense, I know her, but on I'm still learning more and more about her. God has given me glimpses of her, and He's told me about her, and not everything that I believe until I step into it. So I'm stepping into it, and I'm learning more of her. So no, I don't. Um, for the most part, I know myself, but I don't, and that's what's so fascinating.
Okay.
That's what's so fascinating.
Okay.
What about you? Do you think you know Zoe?
I know surface level me, yes, but technically, like, honestly, when people say like, "Do you know yourself?" My question is, how do you not know yourself? Like, I know like people be like, "I'm trying to find myself," but honestly, I don't not know myself enough to where I don't think I know myself. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like,
no, that makes sense.
cause like honestly, what does that even mean? Like, what is your definition of knowing yourself? Like, of or getting to know just you? Cause I
Well,
thought I know myself.
I'm going to tell you this, Zoe, because half of my life, and it wasn't until I hit my 40s, and that's one of the things that I love about you, is you have never had an identity issue. You've always known Zoe on some level.
Yeah.
You have never reshaped yourself or changed yourself to be what other people wanted you to be. And I pray that you never change that. That's the reason why I started when you were young, telling you to find out who you are and do it on purpose. So you've never not known Zoe. I did not always know Shawnte because I had an identity issue. I lost my identity a very long time ago when I was a very young girl. And I spent a lot of time just shaping and moving, trying to be what other people wanted me to be because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to set boundaries. I just didn't know. Yeah, no, I don't want to do. You've always been that person. I've not been, and there are a lot of people who have identity problems, and so they don't know what they like. They don't know what their real vision is. They don't know if they want to go to school. They know that their parents tell them to go, but they don't know what they actually want to do. So they're still trying to figure out, who am I outside of everybody else and outside of all of these folks who are telling me what I should and shouldn't do. Y'all didn't have as many rules coming up as we did. So there was a lot of people shaping us into what they wanted us to be. Yeah. And we were constantly, I was constantly moving, molding. Even when I got married, right. I had to become a whole lot of things for a whole lot of people because of the situation that I was in. So I didn't know who Shawnte was. I didn't know how to exist with me outside of everybody else. And so when people are saying they're looking for themselves, they're trying to reclaim their own personal identity. You've never lost yours. And I pray that you never lose yours. And that's a blessing. Right. Because it's hard going through life not knowing your own voice and having to find it. It's hard. But I mean, I've watched you your whole life, and sometimes I've had to close my eyes. I'm like, oh, she's just doing too much. But I remember when you told me to find out who I am. I'm like, but I didn't mean for you to go that crazy. But I like that. I like that. And so you're right. You do you know enough about Zoe, right, because you've never lost Zoe. Right. But there's still so much that Zoe hasn't even tapped into. There's so much potential, and there's so much more to you. There's so much depth to you that you haven't even tapped into.
Okay, that was a great response.
I'll be trying. I'll be trying.
All right. Now, speaking of your ex-husband, just want to touch a little on that. I had a couple questions.
Okay.
About him. Okay.
She got a whole list of questions, y'all.
All right. So, being that you were, really young when you were married, what is one thing that you wish you would have known before making that commitment? Like, taking that big step in joining with another man.
What's one thing I wish I would have known? Before I got married, I wish I would have known me.
Yeah.
I do. I wish that I would have taken the time to really get to know Shawnte before I stepped into a marriage, because there was no time to there was no time to find me. There was no time to explore all the things about me, because now I'm no longer one, I'm part of two. And you lose your identity in marriage. And I didn't know enough about me to even maintain my own independent identity. And so I wish I would have known me, because then I would have been able to give myself in the marriage. The me that showed up in the marriage, it wasn't fully me, because I didn't know me. I was just being whatever I needed to be. And so I wish before I married, the one thing that I wish I would have known was myself.
Okay, definitely. All right. So
You wasn't expecting that, was you?
honestly, I don't know, to be honest. Okay, so how did you get over your ex and like move on? Like, how did you get over the fact that you were like married and committed for so long and you had to separate? Like,
Okay, so this is gonna sound a little crazy, but I never got over my ex.
what do you mean never?
I never got over him. When we separated and we were going through our separation before we actually started our divorce, at that early stage, it was all about him. I mean, every thought, every move, every tear, everything that I did, every show I watched, I mean, everything was about him, and was about the pain that I was feeling.
Right.
And even before we separated, I used to tell him all roads lead to you, because my whole life was him. I adjusted my life for him. And so when we separated, it was just about him. What he doing? Why he ain't calling me? You know, my focus was him. And so, and I remember God telling me one day when I was just laying down and I was just feeling so sorry for myself. I was in so much pain. He was like, "It's time to focus on you." And I started making myself a priority. I started putting all the energy that I was putting on him, I started putting it all on me. And all the things about me, and cleaning up and digging out. And I mean, I just started just really just focusing on me. And he just became just the background noise. Yeah. So there was nothing to get over. I mean, he was no longer a priority. I mean, he was no longer, and it sounds kind of harsh, but he was no longer relevant. So I didn't have to get over him because I found me. And so that's how I moved on. I found something so much more important. I fell in love with something so much greater than him, and that was me. And that fulfilled me to the point that I didn't even have to get over him. I actually appreciated him for hurting me so bad, which gave me the opportunity to focus on myself. I appreciated his selfishness because it gave me an opportunity to love me.
Okay.
So that's how I got over it.
Okay.
Or didn't get over it, or moved on. I don't know.
Definitely. Okay, so like, you know, looking back at your marriage, like, do you have any regrets of like anything that you've done, or like, do you have any regrets like from that marriage?
Of course, there. Now, you know, in my version of the story, I was a perfect wife. I was perfect, and nobody would ever leave me because I was just the most perfect wife. But that's just not true. I did a lot of I did a lot of stuff. I made a lot of mistakes. Do I have any regrets? No, I don't regret not one day. Right. I don't regret not one moment spent with my ex-husband, simply because it was all necessary.
Yes.
It was all part of it. And we had we the truth is we had more great days than we had bad days. And so yeah, no. I mean, of course, looking back, you would have did a whole lot of things different, but do I regret any? I don't think so.
That's
Not
okay.
as far as that relationship is concerned.
Right.
Now there are some things in life that I regret ever doing,
Yeah,
but
but just
as far
inside of
as
that.
as far as that relationship, no.
Okay, definitely. All right, and being that y'all were divorced like a long time ago, well, not like a long time ago, it's been a little while. Like, were
I
you
need to
ever?
ask you some questions. What?
Okay, just real quick. Will you ever be open for marriage again, or like, do you think that marriage as like a whole is out of the box for you, and like just dating is for you, or like?
Who told you to ask me that?
Oh no.
You don't know. Kennedy probably told you to ask that. The answer to your question is yes. I'm a we girl. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying this single life.
Right.
But marriage really is a beautiful thing. Right. It's a beautiful union. It's a safe space, and I like that safe space. I like the protection and the security that it provides. I like being part of a team.
Right.
So yes, marriage is definitely something that I'm not closed off to it, but I will use wisdom the next time around, and it will not just be based upon my emotions. So yeah, when I first got a divorce, I'm a romantic by heart, believe it or not. And when we first got a divorce, I just stopped believing in love. Just completely stopped believing in it. And I remember saying to myself, there's something wrong with the world when a girl who loves love no longer believes in love. I remember literally journaling that.
Definitely.
And but God has healed me from that. What time is it? God has healed me from that. And go ahead. And
46. 7:46.
I have fallen back in love with love and the idea of love.
Right.
And the beauty of love, because it is very beautiful. And so I look forward to it. I look forward to being in love again and being all giggly.
All right.
But being mature.
Okay.
Being mature.
Definitely. Okay.
What about you? Do you plan to get married?
I do want to get married.
You want to get married? You want some babies?
I want to get married. I want someone to love me in the way that I love them, when the time comes. And I want to have kids when I get married.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So,
She's such a girly girl. Go ahead.
All right. So, what has been the most challenging part about being single? Like, we talked about how, you was with him. What you want to ask? For real, like,
who told you to ask me that question?
For real, because you were married for so long, like, and you had to adjust. So
the most challenging part for me about being single, and I'm just okay. We straight up having girl talk, right? So I'm just gonna be real open and honest with you. The most challenging part about being single is I literally enjoy the sex, and so because of my values, because of my principles and the way that I live life, I cannot, I do not just engage in the sex like I really would, or like I did when I was married. So I have a high sex drive, and so that's really challenging for me. Okay. And while I judge nobody who does it, have multiple partners and all different types of stuff, because of the way that I live my life and the boundaries and again, my personal values and principles do not allow me to do that. So that is the most challenging thing about being single, not being able to engage in the things. And see, that's one of the beauties about being married.
Right.
You have that space to just have at it. Just go for broke. When you're single, you gotta hold your excesses. And so that's challenging for me. I'm not even gonna lie, it's challenging.
Okay. So when you say that,
Don't ask me questions about it.
Okay, just real quick.
No, go ahead.
Do you think that you get attached easily, like when you have, that type of relationship with someone, or like, what do you mean by that? Like, it's hard about that.
So, no, I do not get attached easily.
Okay.
And that's still something that I do, that I am working on, because I can separate emotions.
Right.
But I don't get attached. I do not attach easily. Now, when I was younger, probably so, but now as an adult, I understand that
The difference.
this is not a Love Jones. This is just what it is, and I'm okay with that. That is, and that's not necessarily the best way to be. Let me just be very clear with that, because our bodies should be cherished more than that.
Right.
But when I say what's hard for me, it's because I just enjoy it, and because I don't attach emotions to it, and I'm just enjoying. I mean, we're just literally two adults having fun.
Right.
I can have fun I can continue to have fun, and that's not for me. That's not healthy. I need to be married.
Yeah.
And so I have to sit down a whole lot more than I get to stand up.
Really?
And believe me, I be wanting to stand up, but because of the life, again, because of my principles, my core values, the life God has called me into, I have to sit down. And so I have to fight myself and my desires a whole lot more. That's hard as a single woman.
Right.
Saying no, and especially when you're free to say yes to everything. Right now, my life is a candy store. I can have anything I want.
That's true now.
It's a candy store for real. And so I have to look at the candy. I have to be in the mirror, and I have to say no.
Yeah.
I have to say no. So that's a little difficult.
Gotcha. All right. So, has there ever been a time in your life like that you have been ashamed, and how did you overcome the shame?
Oh. Oh yes, Zoe, I lived the whole first half of my life in complete shame.
Yeah, the whole first?
The whole first half of my life in complete shame. Shame for a lot of things. Shame for things that were outside of my control. Mm-hmm. That being sexually abused, and shame for things that I did that were within my control that I was so embarrassed about, and I never really forgave myself, and so I was always shameful of it, and so yeah. You look like you want to ask me what's that thing you was ashamed of.
Oh no! I have a different question in mind.
Oh, you got a different question in mind? Okay, but yes, I did. I lived the whole first half of my life like that, and part of finding myself was acknowledging it and forgiving myself and moving on, such that the shame doesn't sit with me anymore. So I live with a lot of shame, and shame makes you do a lot of awful things to yourself.
Yeah.
And it makes you accept things from other people that if you were in your right mind you wouldn't have accepted. So I allow people to handle me in ways that they shouldn't have been allowed to handle me, but I felt so shameful that I just, part of me said it was okay because of the things that I had done and the way that I had lived and the way that I thought. And so, yeah.
Okay, got you. So do you want to share the thing that you were ashamed about?
That was the question you was gonna ask?
No.
Oh,
But you brought it up, and then I'm gonna ask what I'm gonna ask. I mean, if you want to share, you can.
I mean, if you want me to, I will. But
we can skip the question.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe that's for another conversation, another day.
All right. So my question is, I know you said that you were sexually abused in the past, and I just want to know, like, does that have an impact on your life daily, or like, have you like healed from that, or how does it affect your life as an adult?
For the trauma never I'm not an expert, but I'm just telling you about me and my experience. Right. Trauma never fully leaves. It's always there. You get what I'm saying? But I will tell you that I'm an overcomer, and I completely overcame it. I learned, I accepted it. I forgave every person that I needed to forgive, and I stopped allowing it to control my daily life. It used to sit on me every single day. Every time I opened my eyes, every time I closed my eyes, every time I had pain, just the trauma of that abuse, it followed me. And I used to think that it was just a sign that was just over my head that was like she was abused. And I literally just thought everybody knew that. That was one of the things, that was one of my shames.
Right.
Now in my life, no, it does not control me. I still find that I still have some pieces of it still sitting inside of me. So God is still slowly, this is part of finding myself. This is part of discovering and becoming. I'm in the process of healing even those real little tiny things that are real deep that I didn't even know existed, right. But they're there as a result of what happened. And unfortunately, it's deep. It's, when you're violated like that, when somebody does that to you, people want to just act like it's nothing, but it's really deep. It's so deep. It's in the depth of your soul, and it breaks something. And so there's a lot of healing and restoration and transformation that has to take place. Right. And even though I'm completely on the other side of it, it does not control my life, and yet it still guides my life because it's made me stronger. So it still has impact, but it does not control me. And when I think about it in a positive, in the way that it has grown me, as opposed to the way that it tried to break me.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm better for it.
Right.
If you can believe it. So, yeah.
Okay. Got you.
We probably got room for 2 more questions.
2 more. Okay.
So make them good.
Is there anything? Okay. Let me see now.
Make them good. Make them good.
Okay. Okay. Why did you never have children?
Yeah.
We are kids, but why have you never had children out of Shawnte's womb?
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I just never. God never gave me children. I've never been closed off to it. I've always said if I ever got pregnant, right, then it was God's will for my life. But in the core of my loins, I've never wanted to be a mother.
Never have.
It's just not something that I wanted. When I pictured my life when I was little, and I used to picture my future, I saw a husband, but I didn't see children. I saw me loving my nieces and my nephews, but I didn't see children. It's just not something that I love y'all, but I don't. No, no. I don't.
So you always wanted to be the rich auntie.
I'm not gonna say that. I have a level of selfishness that I used to be ashamed of, but I like being selfish. I like it being about me, okay. And I'm not gonna lie. I've always enjoyed it being about me.
Okay, gotcha. I'm so sorry. Really quick. So, I know you said this is gonna be quick.
Okay.
I know you said that God never gave you children. Like, have you ever had a miscarriage or anything, or you literally
No,
never
I've
been
never
pregnant?
been pregnant.
Never. Okay.
I've never been pregnant.
All right. Got you. And then one last question.
Okay.
Who is your favorite niece or nephew?
Jace. Everybody
Alright.
know Jace is my heart.
Yeah.
I love you, boo, but Jace is Jace.
Okay, and niece. Don't say Nyla.
I don't have now.
She told me it's okay, y'all. This was very interesting.
This was very good, Zoe. I want to thank you for sitting down with me, and your questions were very interesting, very good. And so I thank you for sitting down with me. I thank you for this space.
Definitely.
We're going to have you back. I want to thank our audience for joining us on tonight for this episode of Girl Talk. I really hope that you enjoyed it, that you received something to help you on your journey. Join us next week. We will be talking with a clinical coach and she's a clinical rehabilitation coach, I believe that is, Taylor Davis. And we are going to be talking about the convenient lies, those lies that we tell ourselves and how they impact our emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual well-beings. And she's going to be helping us face those convenient lies and get past them so that we can move forward. So make sure you tune in next Wednesday at 7 p.m. on the WinWinWomen.tv network, where we will be bringing you conversations to uplift you, encourage you, and inspire you. Until then, go be great.